videos on And welcome to another episode of the Hitting the Crew podcast. It's your host, Jeremy Brener, here, and I'm here with another host, guys. We have got the host of Hitting the Field, the current host of Hitting the Field, Jaret Kappelman, on the pod today.
Hey, that's me.
That's you.
That's me.
That's you.
That's
yeah.
cool.
How you doing today?
Pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
Been chilling, you know, getting work done and enjoying life right now.
Yeah, today is we're recording this on a Wednesday in the middle of February. It's
not much to do in the middle of like a Wednesday.
But does it feel like a Wednesday in the middle of February? This morning it did not.
It kind of feels like a weekend, I'll be honest. Weekend vibes.
Wednesday is kind of like my weekend day, like midday weekend.
Well, it technically is midday, so
well, yeah, but it's like a weekend in the middle of the week.
I feel you.
I don't know what to call that though.
A midweek break.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
I don't know. It starts my work week though,
yeah.
So you know, I enjoy it.
Then is it a Wednesday? Is it a Saturday, or is it really a Monday?
I don't know. I enjoy going to work, so.
All right. Well, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That is true.
So, Jaret, this is all about you, my brother.
Wow,
we're gonna
crazy.
spend so much time just talking about you.
You know, no one loves talking about me more than me.
Look, okay, but here's the thing with you, and like, you're very subtle about it. Like, we're very similar in a lot of ways, but we're also very different in the way we go about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I love talking about myself too, but I will tell you, like, I'm like, let's talk about me, guys. Like, come on, like, put the spotlight on me.
Yep.
But,
oh yeah.
But you're very you're like that, but you're also very subtle about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't need the
you're not the
attention.
loudest voice in the room, but like when you speak, people listen.
Well, that's what great leaders do. Just like we listen to you, right?
There you go, brother.
Yeah.
All right. So enough about me. Let's dig in about you. So, look, we started HTF together.
Yes,
you and
we
I
did.
And next year, hopefully when I graduate, you will make HTF history by your 7th season. Assuming you'll stay with the show.
Yeah, no, I have plan. I mean, unless I get a better offer,
we're signing you to
I got to
two-season extension.
All right,
but it's a player option.
All right, no, I mean, I don't think I'll express the option.
Nobody has done all 4 years at Hitting the Field, but you will be the first.
Yeah, that.
So how did you get started with Hitting the Field? Who brought you in?
I love this story.
Here, just tell this story. Start us off here.
I mean, freshman year, you know, August, September of 2017, I get a text from my parents. You know, I stay in contact with my parents. You know, I have a group chat with them just because I didn't feel like texting both of them. Didn't feel like texting them both individually, so I made a group chat. Smart thinking. Yeah. So one day my dad sends me like a screenshot of a Facebook message, and he goes, "Hey, this sounds a lot like you, Jaret. You should check it out." And I read it, and it's like, "Oh, Hitting the Field's HTF or sports show and Nicholson School of Communication first meeting of the semester tomorrow." And I was like, "Dad, you really think I'm gonna get up on a Friday morning? Like, you really think I'm gonna one day off? Like, you really think I'm gonna get out of bed early on a Friday?" Mm-hmm. I was like, "Nah." He's like, "You should though. It'll be really good." My mom's like, "Yes, go." And I was like, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm giving him the hard time. Like, obviously I was going to go. So, you know, I go, not knowing what this school was. I'm standing outside 152 in the hallway, confused. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? Luckily, there was like, I don't remember who, because I don't think the kid ever came back, but there's another kid out there who I guess knew one of them, so they texted someone that was already in the group, like, hey, we're outside 152, and they let us in. And I walk in, sit down, not knowing anyone. The only thing I remember
that's a scary thought.
was I wore an Eagles shirt that day, so I was like, I'm either going to be public enemy number one or someone's best friend. I'll never forget. First person to say anything, Anthony Abruzzo. He's like, hey, nice shirt, bro. I was like, hey, go Birds. Like, but no, that's honestly how I got started in the show. Just my dad or mom, whoever found it on Facebook.
It's a very
on Facebook. I think the UCF
way.
parent page. I guess it popped up, and the rest is history.
Whoever made that Facebook message.
Yeah, that's why.
What it means.
That's why whenever like we talk about social like and stressing it, I'm like, yes, we need to, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. I mean, I think I would have eventually found my way just from being in the journalism program and stuff, but
you wouldn't have gotten started as early as you did.
No, and I probably wouldn't be the host.
And I mean, it's so important that we have we have people, like, we want people to join, whether you're about to graduate or whether you're just starting at UCF. We really, like, any person, there's no person more valuable than another. But I will say, a lot of HTF in the recent seasons could be absolutely nowhere without you, brother. So
appreciate that.
It's definitely it's great to see what you've done with the show and the direction you've taken with it. I'm very, very excited. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. It's gonna be weird next year. It's gonna be our first season without you.
Yeah, it's gonna be just you and a bunch of
randoms. We call them randoms.
I mean, a lot of them are still with the show currently, but like we were talking about yesterday, like about how many people are actually leaving the show.
It's crazy.
It's like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5 to 8.
It's like it's one of our hardest drop offs, and from the positions that the people are in, it's like it's a real hard drop off. But we'll figure it out.
But like, did you ever think that when you walked in that first meeting that you would be sitting right here, host of Hitting the Field, doing this podcast with your boy JB?
The podcast part, no, but like the hosting stuff, my ego, yes. My ego told me, like, my ego, like when I walked in there, I'm like, I could run this one day. But that, like, me, like, that's just the way I think.
But it's like a quiet
But
confidence.
like, it's like when I walked in that meeting, probably not. But after seeing a show too, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, I could take this and run with it and like be really good at it if I put forth the effort.
It's a lot of confidence.
So
where does that come from?
It comes from a baseball background,
all right.
Honestly.
So baseball.
Now, baseball.
All right. I want to talk about you playing baseball growing up. Like, how did it start for you?
I don't think many people know.
Were you someone that played t-ball when you were 4 and then you worked your way up?
Yep.
Okay, so talk about that.
Played t-ball on a team called the New York Yankees. That was just our team name. It's just funny.
It's not a good name.
I mean, I was that kid. The coach had to throw me on first base because if not, regardless of where the ball was hit, I'd run after it. I'd like tackle kids. I'm like, I wanted the ball. So the coach goes, "You're gonna play first." I'm like, all right. That's what my parents told me. I'm like, all right. So, which is kind of ironic because down the road, first base was the only position I really never played. Mm-hmm. So kind of funny. But did that and then played on and off. And then I think I turned like 8 and I was like, I want to play baseball again. Like I want to play,
Mm-hmm. Like you were like, this is it.
So played football for a year. Didn't like it because the coach made me a left tackle. Didn't want to
left tackle.
Wanted to play wide receiver. I was really good at it, but I wanted to play wide receiver. Didn't happen.
Natural athlete right there.
So then played coach pitch for a couple of years, and then my parents were like, hey, you need to make a decision between this and soccer. And I was like, okay.
Played soccer.
Yeah, I did play soccer. I played every sport growing up.
Yeah.
So then my last year, I played both baseball and soccer in the same season, same spring season.
What year?
Oh, I was like 8, 9.
Okay, 8.
I was still young.
But at that age, you can...
Yeah.
I mean, look.
So I was running from, literally on Saturdays, I was running from soccer games to baseball games to soccer games. Yeah, I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete. But that soccer team...
More of an
we
athlete.
We went 0-7-3 in the regular season. Team was terrible. I was by far the best player. I was our only goal scorer and our only goalkeeper. The Silver Surfers. I still remember our name.
Silver Surfers.
Then we played the undefeated team in the first round of the playoffs. I played the first half in goalie, shutout. Then we did quarters. I played the third quarter, scored a goal for us, then went back in goal. And then I remember giving up I gave up 2 goals, but one of them was on a PK because my defender just literally just like playing football tackled this kid in the box.
What if I told you that defender
was you?
became a member of the U.S. national team.
I mean, good for him, but he ruined my childhood dreams of beating the undefeated team in the playoffs. So, no, it's stuff like that I remember, though. No, but then after that, like, I decided I wanted to stick with baseball. It was my passion. I loved it. Watching it, playing it, everything about it. So then, fast forward a couple of years or a year maybe, playing kid pitch, and my parents, I guess they didn't realize how much I loved doing it, but we had all-stars at our park, and I didn't know about it, 10, 11, I don't really know much. I think I was 9. Yeah, I was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about it, and the A team, there's an A team and a B team. I probably would have made the A team with these, just because by how good I was and how the kids that were on the A team, I was competing with, if not better than all of them. I batted leadoff, played second base.
On the B team.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. So I didn't try out in the B team. Some players got caught up to the A team, but some players on the A team couldn't play.
So you just didn't do it because just didn't know about it.
Yeah, so my friend calls me and goes, hey, we need some players for the B team. So I just go out to a practice, and the coach goes, yeah, you're on the team. So played that summer. We won one game. We were not good, but it was probably one of the most fun summers just because the kids on that team and everything, we had so much fun. Won. I remember we won one game. We won 16-0. We smacked them, we won one game. And that then led to travel ball because a kid I played with on that team said, hey, we're having tryouts for the Weston Rattlers tomorrow. You should come try out. So I went, and that's where the struggle, I guess, started for me. Always being doubted and always being the next guy up kind of thing. I was always the next guy. I was never the guy when playing baseball, if that makes sense. So tryouts. I'll never forget the last day of tryouts. We played an inter-squad. I went 3 for 3 with a grand slam and still was the 13th man. So my coach said, hey, we want you on the team, but we're going to have 12 kids, and then, we'll keep you, in kind of practices and stuff, but you play rec ball, stay active, because, in a couple months, you might be on the team.
So this is actually, I never played baseball growing up, but my brother did. And my brother was very much the story that you're telling me is very similar to my brother. So my brother started out, played t-ball, then moved his way up, decided, the all-star team, and he was always the kid that kind of just got on the and he was a left-handed pitcher too. So you can never have too many left-handed pitchers.
I was a righty, not throwing hard, but running fast.
The thing that and my dad was really involved with it, but I think what he noticed and what he learned throughout the course of his all-star career was that it was about politics. Yeah, it was really about who you knew, who was friends with who, and
still is
my dad. My dad, I feel like he would never really say this, but I feel like he fake friends with people.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
Just so that my brother could have a chance on the team, and he was always he would know the people that were on the top team, and he'd have ins with some of these people, but he wasn't. He was never in the in crowd. And I think that was part of the reason why my brother was never on that top team. And I won't say that, my brother, he wasn't. He never. And look, I think part of it also was that my brother wasn't. I think my brother was good enough to be on the team. I don't think he was the best. Yeah, but I think he was good enough to be on the team, but because just he got into the fold a little bit late, or when he entered the fold, he entered in the wrong seam or whatever. Then the older siblings too. So a lot of players on his team had siblings that were my age, but I was never really close with them because I never played baseball. Yeah. I played basketball, and I would play in basketball against them, and I was never on the same level. I was never star athlete, but I wasn't terrible. I mean, I wasn't the worst kid on the team.
Well, and here's the thing. So we had 12 guys. I was the 13th guy. Then I have to say maybe so I signed up for rec ball. I was I'll play both because we were putting together this super team in rec league. We were actually doing some stuff down there. We were putting together this super team because you could freeze 4 kids. You can pre-pick 4 kids. We put together this super team. We were gonna draft. Really well. Get good players. So I ended up doing that.
Drafting?
Well, yeah.
In youth sports is the best thing ever.
It's awesome. You go to a tryout, the coaches scout you, and then they pick in order. It's kind of stupid.
But have you ever drafted? Have you ever been a part of the draft process? Because I
Yeah,
have.
I mean, I have. Yeah, you
Like, did
go,
you ever-
you go to
did you ever get to
tryouts,
pick
you do
people?
all the things. Oh, me
No,
picking people.
were you ever the GM of like a youth
I've
team?
done that in like PE before, like in high school gym, like
Yeah.
picking my teammates for like volleyball and softball. That's
that is
fun. I love
that
doing
is
it.
an absolute like.
Oh, no, so then I signed up for rec ball, and then like literally like 2 weeks later, my coach calls, says, "Hey, one of the kids quit, so you're on the team now." And I was like, "Sick!" So now I'm playing rec ball and travel ball.
Mm-hmm.
So in rec ball, my coach is like, it was me and one of my best friends, Ivan, who were like the only two like catchers on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan had been catching forever. I had caught like a year in coach pitch, so it's not really catching. And they're like, "Oh, how long you been catching?" I'm like, "Oh, I caught for like a year." I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Had I been catching for a year? Sure. I was the backup catcher on a coach pitch team. You don't have to do much. And that's how I got into catching. And
Yeah.
from that moment on, Coach Frank, to this day, he'll always be like,
Shout
"Jared,
out
who
Coach
gave you the
Frank,
chance
yeah.
to be catcher?" And it was him. Because him, Ivan, and Ivan's dad were like my big like supporters when it came to catching. Like they really said, "You know what? Yes, you're going to catch." And so me and Ivan shared off on catching. But then in rec ball, in travel ball, I played outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And that was boring to me. So that's
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta. It's a
Outfield are the
catcher.
ones that's like
When you're
Yeah.
young, outfield sucks.
when you're
'Cause
young,
no one
'cause
can hit the
nobody
ball.
Yeah, exactly.
My gosh, those kids are terrible. Like, it's not like I'm coming up the bat every time I'm hitting the ball 400 feet.
Mhm.
It's these scrubs. But no, so that happens. Then we go to Cooperstown with the travel team. So if you don't know what
That's
that
always
is,
fun.
10U.
Yeah.
We went in like one of the last years they had 10U.
I never, my brother never did it, but a friend of mine did it. And he plays for, a friend of mine at the time. I'm pretty sure, like, if we ever, cross paths again, we'd be close. But he plays for Trinity University,
Okay.
in San Antonio, and then he does the summer leagues in Cape Cod and stuff like that. And he did Cooperstown growing up.
Cooperstown was like my turning point in my career, 10U.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
When it gets serious.
I was hitting like 10th, like whatever. Like I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
like I wasn't liked by this coach.
Mhm.
So the plan before going to Cooperstown was we were splitting the team into two. It was supposed to be two even teams. It ended up being an A and a B team, and I was on the B team because the coach, he didn't like me. So
Mhm.
we had Cooperstown. Our leadoff hitter did not come with us. It was an expensive trip, so I understand like why.
Yeah.
So we needed a leadoff hitter, and my other coach, Coach Angel, who then became my coach after, he's like, "Why don't we put Jaret there?" And he's like, "All right, we got nothing to lose." I ended up going like 11 for 20 that tournament.
That's
And
That's
after that
550.
tournament,
that's 550. That's better than Ted Williams.
my coach, the coach of the A team, he's like, "Yo, come play with." Like he wanted me. He's like, "Oh, you should come play with us." Like on the A team. I'm like, "No, like I don't like you. Like you talk
doubted
behind our
me
back.
once,
Like I'm 10 and I'm already making. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
like I'm not doing this politics stuff." So then we went. And then what's funny is a lot of kids from the A team wanted to play for the B team because stuff happened. And so then we ended up getting kicked out of the park because the coach was mad. He's like, "You can't take players from my team." So we got kicked out of the park,
Wow.
left, took some kids with us. And then,
That's pretty serious.
Then we became-
in Cooperstown.
no, this was after. This
Oh,
was like
okay, it was
after
after
Cooperstown.
Cooperstown. Okay.
So we became the Western Rattlers to the South Florida Knights. So Knights.
Charge on.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm not saying this to be something good, but I was the guy on that team.
Mhm.
I was, third hitter every year, catcher. And then, ran that team, went back to Cooperstown. First 2 games, went 1 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Next 4 games, hit 7 home runs.
It's amazing how great your memory is with this.
Oh, yeah. It is. So
yeah.
So the first 2 games I went 1 for 5, 4 strikeouts. My mom called me because my parents did not come with me to Cooperstown. It was my brother's 16th birthday, so they stayed home.
They stayed home.
They stayed home. Understandable. I forgive them. I went with my best friend and his dad, John, and his dad, John Lawson.
But also
they're family to me. I grew
exactly.
up. I grew up
when
in
you
their
when
house.
you travel with people like that.
I was saying that like 3 years leading up to that, I lived at their house.
Yeah.
Like I lived there on weekends. But yeah, so I went to Cooperstown. Then my next 4 games, I hit 7 home runs. So I had 3 multi-homer games.
So you were the dude.
We ended up beating the team that lost in the championship, and the team that won that tournament was Team Phenom, and they won every game 25-0.
Mm-hmm.
So we beat the team that won.
Sometimes in youth baseball,
We beat
you
the
just
team.
have one.
We
team
beat the
doesn't
team that
belong.
won. I knew kids on that team.
Yeah.
Like half of them are drafted right now. Like
Yeah.
Tristan Casas was on that team, drafted by
Okay.
the Red Sox.
Mhm. Was
but-
that first round?
Yes.
Okay,
It
I
was, like,
definitely I have heard of
29th
that before.
overall. It went to American Heritage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then that point, I had to make a decision. Do I want to stay with this team? We weren't that good. Oh, and I also got food poisoning up there, so I didn't get to play the playoffs. I was throwing up, couldn't play, devastated. That was terrible.
Your memory is really impressive.
Oh, it was terrible.
And I don't think I've
I woke
realized
up at
that
3
until
a.m.
now.
and instead of waking up any of my coaches in the barracks, I called my mom, who was thousands of miles away in South Florida.
Thousands.
I called her. I don't know.
What?
I'm not good with
You're in
geography. I'm good
Cooperstown?
with memory. No, but I just remember calling
You're
her
in Cooper-
crying.
That's
and I was
about
like,
1,000 miles.
she'll never forget this too. I just remember calling her crying. I'm like, Mom, I want to come home. And she's like, what's wrong? She's like, you're doing so well. I said, I'm throwing up. I don't feel good. Like, food poisoning. And at that point, every parent up there became my parent. Everyone took me under their wing. They tried to get me. They tried to get me better for that game.
That's
I
respect.
played, but I had
Flu
no
game?
energy.
Flu game?
It was terrible. No, I went like 0 for 2. No, it was bad. It was bad.
Bad.
I couldn't. I had no energy. I didn't sleep. I was throwing up. But that was that.
He's human.
Then to make the decision to go stay with this team, which wasn't. We weren't great, but we had fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to my high school camp, St. Thomas Aquinas. I was like in 8th grade. I was going to just a camp. You just get to know the coach because it was a new coach. And later that day, my mom picks me up. She goes, "Hey, Jaret, I got a call. Like, this is not made up." She's like, "I was in Publix today or Walmart today shopping, and I got a call from the coach from the Pembroke Lakes Bulldogs." And I was like, "Excuse me?" They're like, "Yeah, they somehow heard that you weren't going to come back to the Knights, and they want you to come play for their team." And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
The Bulldogs?
Yeah. So keep in mind, I'm like 12, and a coach is calling my mom saying, "Hey, we want your son to come play for my travel team." And then so I show up and like. That was it. Like, I just went to all their practices like all summer, and I was on the team. And their coach, like, they're like, "We've been trying to get you on our team for years." Because when we would beat them, we would split games with them. And they were really good, but we would split games with them solely because of me.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I had to walk off a double against them at their park.
Mm-hmm.
We were the home team. We didn't have a home field. That was a bad thing. But so played with them. Man, I was something else on that team. I like 4 home runs in one season. Playoff games, semifinals, playing the Pompano Piranhas. We're down the whole game 2-0. Top of the 7th, I come up. This is after like a 3-hour rain delay. Like, it had been on and off raining all day.
Yeah.
South Florida, terrible. I come up, runner on first, hit an absolute nuke off this kid, Spencer, who later became a high school teammate. Hit a nuke off him, though. Right center. Home run to tie the game 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next batter walks, and then we hit a triple, going to the bottom of 7th, hold him, game over. One of my fondest memories was hitting a home run.
Oh, those are the best.
Then we got slapped in the championship, though, because we ran out of pitching. But
that happened.
that
When
happened.
you're playing from behind.
Then I go into high school.
Yeah. So
That was youth baseball
so
right
you
there.
went to St. Thomas Aquinas.
I did to play
Just-
baseball, not football.
And I mean, yeah. So St. Thomas Aquinas. I mean, I know what that is, and I've never been near it before. I mean, I guess.
But you're a fan of sports. I feel like fans of sports.
Okay, but
know
like
that school.
if people who just name off some alumni that are from there that people would are household names.
Michael Irving.
Okay. Hall of Famer.
James White.
Okay.
Gio Bernard.
Mm-hmm. Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, Joey
Bosa.
Bosa, the Bosa brothers. I mean, I could get on a list.
So
I have
like
a
this
picture on
is
my
a
phone.
school that is. I mean, yes, it's a football school. And they're featured on like the Netflix documentary.
I mean, we have the most. We're the high school with the most kids in the NFL.
Yeah. So that I mean. So there is a reputation to uphold, and I feel like even if it's just the football, that has to permeate itself around the entire athletic department.
Oh, I mean, the school was known back in the 90s. We were a baseball school.
Yeah.
We were known for baseball. We were known for baseball way before we were known for football. It's just time to flip the bit.
And so now you're playing for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like, Pride on A, STA Pride on, it meant something because, like, you're playing for a school with prestige.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're playing for not a worldwide, but a nationwide school, regardless. Like, oh, you go to St. Thomas? Oh, like, I walk around with my St. Thomas hoodie on. Like, I'll go into work. Someone goes, oh, you went to Aquinas? Well, granted, I work in the Sentinel, so, like, some people cover sports and, like, oh, my God, like, I've covered so much stuff. Like, but it's like, I can walk around anyway. Like, oh, you went to Aquinas? Like, yeah, like, I'll be on a cruise and people would say stuff. Like, so people know the school.
When you walk in as a freshman,
they think people
team.
think I'm rich. I'm not. It's a common misconception.
Upper middle class.
I drove a minivan whenever I drove to school. I definitely wasn't rich. I drove my mom's minivan with the family stickers on the back, and it said Gator Mom because my brother went to UF.
So you walk in Aquinas.
I knew no one. I knew one person from.
How
middle
far is
school.
Aquinas from where you lived?
30 minutes.
So you would
For a
drive
lot
30
of day.
minutes
Yeah.
to school each day. That's kind of what my brother did. But yeah.
Dude, I knew one person outside of baseball. I mean, I kind of knew like a couple people from baseball just because like I kind of knew them, but I knew two kids. I knew one kid, Isaiah, who I grew up playing rec ball with. He's now at FSU on the baseball team.
Okay.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
And then I knew this kid, Shiloh, who I went to middle school with, and I didn't know he was going to this school. So I knew no one.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one.
That's got to be
in this school.
Because how big is the school?
2K, like a little.
That's
give or take up a few numbers.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. So I knew no one, and I knew my brother. If that counts. He was a senior my freshman year. But like, what senior's gonna talk to a freshman?
No, exactly.
Can't blame him.
Not even if you're a brother.
I knew no one.
Yeah.
Not difficult for me.
But you went there to play baseball, though.
Yeah. If you know me, I'm outgoing, and plus, I mean, I had the baseball kids who like I knew but didn't know.
Yeah.
So
you walk into Aquinas the first day for baseball practice.
Yeah.
How is that like?
I played terrible. I'll never forget. Batting practice was terrible. I caught still. It was bad. It was really bad. Like kids thought I sucked, which I can't blame them. That first day of practice was bad, but like I progressively got better. People were like, oh wait, this kid's not bad.
So
like,
when did you see youth ball, Jaret, come into Aquinas?
Oh, sophomore year,
Okay.
Easily sophomore year. Freshman year was So I made the transition freshman year from catcher to outfield. I did the numbers in my head. It was a strategical move.
Bryce Harper did that, so
I knew I wasn't going to play as catcher because we had a kid who's now at Samford playing he was at Samford, got drafted by the Angels. He was a sophomore when I was a freshman, so I'm like, well, I'm never going to start ahead of this kid. Like, no matter, like, it's not even that mentality. I just knew, like, he was on varsity as a freshman. I knew he was special. Like, I watched him play, and I was like, wow, like, this kid's good. He can hit the ball really, smoke the ball. I'm like, not, like, saying this because, like, I know if I worked hard, like, I probably could have cheated, but I was like, there's 3 spots in the outfield. I know I'm fast. I can play center. Like, I just play the numbers, and I'm like, plus I can hit. If you hit, they'll find a spot for you. So I'm like, you know what? We'll move to outfield. So moved to outfield, and I ended up like starting like I'd say like 80% of the games freshman year. So like out of the 20 games, I started like 80% of them.
I mean, that's pretty good.
And
for
like
a freshman.
down the back half of the year, I started like all of them.
That's pretty good for a freshman.
Yeah. So then it was on the freshman team.
Okay.
Yeah, a freshman made freshman. Everyone else made JV, and then varsity. So then JV year. Or sophomore year, that's when it took off. That fall ball, I took off. I was probably the best player on the field.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that as like an ego. Like some of my teams could probably vouch for that. That I was probably the best player in the sophomore class. Like that sophomore year, I was probably the best player on the team.
Now, around sophomore year is kind of when you start hearing from colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you hear from colleges?
No. I screwed up in that mindset. I think.
Why?
I wasn't as like outgoing to coaches as I should have been.
Okay.
I kind of thought it would just come to me because then that sophomore year in the spring season, so fall season I took off. Spring season I hit 422 over the
sophomore year.
Yeah, and batted cleanup. So I mean that, and then that summer I hit 407 over the span of like 80 games or 80 at bats.
407.
And that summer, but we were terrible. It was a terrible summer team. So I made a decision to leave the Florida Pokers, who we won the Perfect Game World Series.
Hold up.
The Florida Pokers?
The Pokers?
Yeah.
What's a poker?
Like what you put in a fireplace?
Why would you name that as a team?
It's a legendary name. It's got its history.
History that I can't. Is that? Ooh, I'm a poker.
History I can't share over the mic. History for another day. But yeah, so we won the Perfect Game World Series that year. We were the number 1 team in the state of Florida. I decided to leave the team because I can say this now. I felt like it was daddy ball. I felt like it was the coach's sons played every game, no matter how bad they were, batted high in the lineup. We were good, don't get me wrong. We were really good, but it was daddy ball, and I didn't feel like I was treated properly.
You mentioned daddy ball, and I kind of, because like, look, not everyone can be the coach's son, because obviously there's
definitely
2, 3, 4 coaches.
My dad just enjoyed watching.
Yeah, so like your relationship with your dad, because like I know my like growing up playing sports, and this is not just for baseball, it's for every sport. Like my relationship with my dad growing up was changing as I was going through
I think
sport.
That's everyone, yeah.
And so was my brothers, and because my dad was really invested in my brother's trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
How invested was your dad in your trajectory? Did he kind of just, let you play and kind of let you do your thing? Or
my parents both let me play.
Did they like, oh, we need to practice, like go play catch outside or something like that?
No, they were like, hey, like, I have a bag, and they're like, hey, you want to go to the cage, like, go back to your hitting coach? I was like, yeah, probably, or no.
So they would invest in hitting coaches for you and catching
if I
coaches.
needed it.
Okay.
But like,
is
that
there
aspect,
such a thing as catching coaches?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like like my brother, I remember we would go. Like there was one time we went to Arizona for a lesson because this guy who used to coach in the big leagues, he had like a camp in Arizona, and so we turned it into a whole trip. We went to like Talking Stick, and we watched some spring training games that year.
Oh, you gotta make it fun.
He passed away a couple of years ago. Rest in peace. But but like how I think like people. Like pitching is obviously seen as like an art and like a game in itself, but I think I don't think people give catching enough credit.
Catching's the most important position in baseball. Yeah. I will stick by that as a former catcher. Catching's the most important position by far. Because
not only do catchers need to know how to catch, they need to know how to hit. Not all pitchers need to know how to hit.
Well, it's not even that. It's like they're kind of we're in the modern era. Yeah, everyone needs to hit. Like even if you're a catcher, but like I mean, you could have been defensive and played back in the day. But I moved on from it. Went to outfield, but no, catching is extremely important.
Let's bring it back to Daddy Ball. So you left the Florida Pokers,
I did.
The best team in Florida.
Yes, in 14 years technically, yes.
So you play at Perfect Game. You win Perfect Game
World Series. Yep.
So did like scouts go to Perfect Game all the time?
Yeah. So but here's the thing: it was that I didn't play. Like I didn't play much. I think I played, but I'm saying like in the playoff, like semifinals and championship, I think I had one at bat between the two games. I got intentionally walked in the championship, so they'd load the bases and the next kid hit the walk off. I was so upset.
Is
upset?
Is that like the moment you realize like I don't want to sound like...
Well, that was freshman year going into sophomore year, so that was like before. But,
okay, so you still had time to readjust.
But I was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I need to be, like, not my ego talking, but like, I need to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I left with another kid who was on that team. His dad started a team. And that team, again, you can ask anyone from that team. I was the best player on that team by far. But again, it just wasn't complete. We didn't make a single playoff bracket in a tournament, and that wasn't good for me. That was not acceptable. So the scouts come to the playoff games, come to the games late in tournaments because that's when the best kids are playing.
Yeah,
they're not going to come to some
So you just
Florida Heat playing.
You just never found yourself on the stage to really impress scouts.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that because all it takes is the right pair of eyes at the right time. So clearly, I just didn't show up when that was happening, and plus, I don't think I was.
But you also played for St. Thomas Aquinas.
I did. Well, that's another story too.
So let's go back to Aquinas here a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
That's why we're here. We're here to tell stories.
I got a lot of stories about baseball.
So you go into your junior year at Aquinas. Are you on varsity yet?
Oh yeah.
All right, so you're on varsity.
So starting varsity, fifth
center
hitter.
Field.
No, I was DH.
DH, okay.
Yeah. Fifth hitter. Had a bad first two games. Lost my starting role, and we were on a roll that year, so there really was no need to switch it up. But, I mean, I was working hard every day, you know. I was hitting like 300 balls off a tee in a cage and, 300 soft. Like, I was working hard every day. But I guess I never... I got opportunities, and I took advantage of it. But here's the thing. I was the next guy up. Every single time, coach, hey, you're going to be the first guy off the bench. Like, so I was first guy off the bench in the playoffs. Every single game I was first guy off the bench. I was the pinch hitter every single time. But I just couldn't take that leap. Yeah. And then that was that.
When did you notice it was the beginning of the end for your baseball career?
After that summer. After that summer, I could sense the end because it sounds so bad to say sense the end. So then after that school year, junior year, I decided to go back to the Florida Pokers. I asked the coach, I said, "Hey, can I come back?" Like, he's like, "Of course. Like, you left on good terms. Like, I have nothing against you." And that summer, that was probably my biggest mistake was going back to that team.
Yeah. Because
yes, we were winning, but again, it was daddy ball. I feel like the coach, I'm not going to say like he was out to get me, but I feel like he was out to get me. He didn't like me. I'll just say, I don't think he liked me as a player. He likes me as a person. Like, I still talk to him today, like ask how the kids, ask how the family is. Like, but you know me, like I don't hold grudges, but that was probably my biggest mistake was going back. I'll never forget this one moment. I'll never forget one moment.
Yeah.
I struck out. Terrible pitch. I just want to get a pitch in the dirt. Understandable. I go back to the dugout, and coach was like, "Jaret, what are you swinging at?" I'm like, and I just remember saying, at least I'm up there swinging, because we had like 10 looking strikeouts that game. Was it my right to say it? Probably not. He's my coach. But 2 days prior to that, coach's son, I can say this now, coach's son struck out, and he comes back to the dugout, and his dad's just yelling at him. Head coach's son just yelling at him. And the coach's son is yelling at his dad, the coach, and he goes, "Shut the bleep up." Nothing, and just nothing happens.
The kid.
The head coach, who's the dad of this kid that just said that, did nothing about it. So then when I say this, when I say, at least I'm up there swinging, the next day I'm benched, don't play. And I asked my coach, I'm like, what was that about? And he goes, "You're uncoachable. Like, I just can't, you're uncoachable." That broke my heart, saying I'm uncoachable. Because that was, remember.
And you're what, 16?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
for me to be called uncoachable, because any of my previous coaches' team, like, I'm not like, I'm probably the most coachable person. I'm only like, that hurt.
You just got caught in the heat of the moment,
I guess. But I mean, to be called uncoachable like that, and he's like, I have like my 4 other coaches that agree with me. I'm like, oh, okay. But then when my dad and I talked to the coach, like, why was I benched? And he goes, well, I had to make an example out of you, and my dad would not let me. And I regret this to this day. I should have just said it. My dad said, "You will not bring up the incident with this son the other day, because that's not right." I said, I don't, at this point, I don't care what's right and wrong, because what he did to bench me to make an example out of me instead of the coach's son that said, "Shut the bleep up." I didn't curse. I didn't say anything. And you can guess what that bleep word was. I didn't say anything. All I said was, at least I'm out there slinging. That's all I said. No curse words. Little attitude, sure, but at least I didn't curse you out. So that point, I knew this coach is just out to get me. Because then he's like, "I want you to apologize to each of the coaches." Whatever. I'll do whatever just to get on the field. Like, I wanted to play. So I go to the first coach, and I'm like, "Hey, like, you know, coach, I don't want to drop names, but coach, whatever says, I've been uncoachable. I just want to apologize for that." And he looks at me, he goes, "I never said that." And at that moment, I knew this coach was out to get me.
Yeah.
For another coach to say, "I never said you were uncoachable," because that's just false.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, I just knew this coach was out to get me. I remember they were going to Cincinnati for a tournament. I made a decision. I said, "Hey, I'm not going." I called him. I said, "Hey, coach, I'm not coming to Cincinnati with you guys. I'm going to a Florida Gulf Coast camp instead. Like, I don't want to go to schools in Ohio. We're only going there because you're from Ohio and your son wants to play in Ohio, but I'm not going." And he's like, "All right, whatever. That's fine. Like, you respect that, because I was going to a Florida Gulf Coast camp." But I feel like he'd already screwed me over in coaches and told coaches I was uncoachable. Because Florida Gulf Coast was extremely interested in me.
Yeah.
Extremely interested in me. Like, they told me, they invited me back to this camp.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was between me and this other outfielder. And he was a lefty throwing 89 from the outfield.
Yeah.
And I was throwing like 84, 85 from the outfield. So I understand. We both hit the same. We were both big power hitters. So I understand. He got offered 2 days later, which I talked to I understand it. Like, I'm not like, like, that's ridiculous. Like, I understand it. Kid he threw harder than me. And it makes sense, because we both hit the same. Both were about the same speed, but he threw harder. Understandable. Wasn't mad at them, More mad at myself for decisions I'd made leading up to that point.
Yeah.
But for me, it was always D1 or bust, because I still wanted to enjoy college. But, like, after that summer, I kind of knew this was the start of the end.
The summer going into your senior year.
Yeah, I knew this was the start of the end.
So you play your senior year.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that was a rough start.
Yeah.
Because we had a sophomore outfielder. And we split time at the beginning of the season. It was kind of stupid. It was because he was a lefty hitter, I was a righty. So if there was a righty on the mound, he played. If there was a lefty, I played. Stupid. It doesn't matter in high school, because my splits were better against righties than his. So I didn't understand it. But I remember calling my coach. I was like, why are we splitting time? Like, I just want to know, so I know what I need to work on. He goes, "Oh, honestly, if it was based just off fall ball, you wouldn't get any play time." Took that to heart. And next thing you know, I hit 396 that season, and that kid that was, quote, going to start over me didn't even make the playoff roster. And I ended up being the 4-hitter for half of that season. And I'll never forget the first practice. Like, we go around, like,
so, yeah, I mean, so at this point you're a senior.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And this is late into the year. So
yeah.
Were there any more eyes on you? I mean,
more eyes?
Like college eyes?
No, I don't know. And if there were, I honestly...
Well, you weren't interested at that point?
It wasn't that. It was... I'll never forget. It was just, I told everyone, I'm like, this is my FU tour. This is to everyone that said, you doubted me, you didn't think I was good enough. Like, this is just my last year, and I'm going to go out and basically show to everyone that I am better than you, and you can't tell me what my limitations are.
Yeah.
I ended up, like, having a really good season.
So
should have made All-American. Long story to that one, too.
Yeah. So you have this chip on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
Do you think you still have a chip on your shoulder?
Of course. That's not even a question. Everyone knows I have an ego. That's
But
just
there's a difference between ego and chip on your shoulder.
it's just I carry myself because if you don't think you're the best in everything you do, why are you doing it? That's just my mentality.
Yeah.
If you don't think you're the best at what you're doing, why are you doing it? Because you're not going to be the best if you don't think you're the best. And if you don't want to be the best, then you're not going to be the best. That's just simple as it is. So that's just, I mean, my mentality with everything. Like, it's kind of like people say, hey, you did a good job. I'm like, thanks, I know. Like, but it's kind of like, that's just kind of like how I am. Like, that it really is a genuine, like, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's just like, I know I'm doing well because I know I put the time into it and I know I'm putting the effort in. And, like, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
why, so you're done at Aquinas. Why UCF and why journalism? When did that start?
UCF is, I don't know, because my whole life, I guess I wanted to go to UF. My brother went to UF. I grew up watching UF sports. I don't know, something in me. I applied to 2 schools. I applied to Florida Gulf Coast and UCF.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't apply to UF. To this day, I don't know why. And my parents asked me why I didn't. And I think, I don't know. And the only reason I can think of is I didn't want to be like my brother. Not like from a, like, I love my brother.
Oh,
I didn't want to, I think I just wanted to be my own self and go and write my own
That's
story.
how, that's how my brother is. He's very, like, at first he was very much like, I want to do exactly what Jeremy does. I want to go to the same school as he does. But I think there became a point where he was like, I want to be my own person.
It wasn't even like that. I mean, I love my brother. We're close. Ever since he went to college, we were a lot closer when he left for college than we were growing up in the same house. Kind of weird how that works, but we are very close. We are very close now.
Changes people.
Yeah, but I just think I wanted to be my own self, and I don't know why UCF. I really don't. I honestly just I was like UCF. I'm like, hey, there's 60 some odd thousand students. I'm like,
that's a lot of people.
Whatever. I was like, I knew I wanted to do like something in communications. I'm like, all right, no visit, nothing. I just applied, and 4 days later got my acceptance. My school is like, St. Thomas, like, oh, we never seen someone be accepted that fast. I'm like, well, where's my scholarship money? No, I don't know why.
Yeah. So
I don't know why. I don't, and I still don't know why. But I know that everything happens for a reason. And when I found HTF, I knew that reason.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It's crazy,
destiny kind of thing.
It's crazy, like how I see things, because I'm very much on that same wavelength. Like a kid from Houston, Texas, and a kid from South Florida.
Yeah,
meeting in Orlando, Florida.
I love
Florida. On HTF. It's kind of bizarre how things work out that way.
Yeah, I couldn't see myself. I don't know. I had to stay in state. I knew that for a fact.
Yeah. Now I kind of want to go back to baseball a little bit because I think I love this kind of stuff. I love when people come in here and they can speak their whole
I've spoke this so many times.
But if you think you went if you went to a different school other than Aquinas, do you think that do you regret going to Aquinas?
No.
If you think you went to a different school, you think you'd be playing D1 baseball?
I don't know, because my whole story changes at that point. Because I'll never play for the Florida Pokers at that point because I'll never meet that coach.
Mm-hmm.
I only know him because he went to St. Thomas. So like my whole story, one small little like detail changes a whole story, and that one small detail of me going to St. Thomas versus me going to like West Broward or Everglades or Somerset or Pines Charter, that's tiny. I mean, not really tiny. But that kind of changed everything. I mean, obviously it would have changed the whole thing. I don't know what would have happened. I'll be honest, because I don't know what would have happened. That's just simple as that.
But you're very much a person that believes in what happens for a reason.
No, what happens happens, and it's for a reason. Yeah. You never see me sad and hold grudges and stuff over things that happen. I'm like, hey, it happens for a reason. There's always positives to find out of stuff.
Why do you think you are that way?
I don't know.
Like, have you always been that way?
Oh yeah. I'm always, one day, it's like coach is like, hey, if you're not smiling, what's wrong with you? Because like I'm always smiling. Like it could be the worst day of the year, and I'll still be smiling, like having a good time. I don't know. That's the way I've always carried myself. Life's too short to not be like happy and enjoy the moment. Yeah. I don't stress over things. Like, you know what? The future is the future. The past is the past. Focus on the now. You can only control that. Like I just want to enjoy the moment because you don't know when things are going to go south, and you're not going to be able to enjoy those moments. So while I'm able to enjoy everything that I'm doing, I'm just going to be here and enjoy it.
Yeah. So one of my favorite memories, and I think one of my like just the moment where I looked at HTF and I was like, I'm damn proud to be part of HTF. Was earlier this season when you had your rant about Wes, and like I look at you, and we've never really had conversation about your youth baseball, but just knowing you, and just like I knew that part. I didn't know the specifics and the pokers and all that.
Yeah, I know.
But I could tell just by your nature and all that that's who you were, and I knew that you wore these bracelets. I didn't notice I knew that you wore bracelets, but I didn't notice like if the bracelets had any meaning. I just thought it was hey, like that's like my
yeah. I mean, sometimes people ask.
So the whole thing, I want to give you a little bit of a chance to talk more about Wes, because I know you did have a little bit of time to talk about it on the show, but we do have a little more time now, and I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, I mean,
and like you say, like you never know when things are gonna go. Life's too short.
That was a dark time at St. Thomas. Because Wes was not only a baseball player. I mean, everyone, the whole student body loved him. He was 2 years older than me. But I mean, I always stayed late, so I was always around the varsity kids and stuff. So I would talk to him, you know, all the time. He was a DJ. So whenever we had events and stuff, like he'd bring his DJ stuff out and he would DJ like the event we had like for baseball events and stuff. So, I'd always like hang around. Like I kind of learned like a bit like how to DJ. Like I didn't understand, like I didn't know how to do it, but like I understood like what he was doing. But it was just like Wes, like the fact that, someone that's 2 years older than you could be so humble to such a younger person, like a freshman. So he's a junior, I'm a freshman, it's not like he was too good to talk to me or anything. I mean, it was just something, he carried himself. He was a great player. I mean, but from a human side, I mean, he would talk to me. Like, if I ever talked to him, he'd talk to me, or he'd come up and start conversation with me. It's just like...
It's a good dude.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, hey, an older varsity player is talking to a freshman.
Yeah. Passing it down. Yeah. Pushing it forward. So, he passed away 4 years ago?
Yes.
So... It was after he had graduated.
Yeah, he was a freshman at UF.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a freshman at UF. I'll never forget that. We were taking final exams. Call over the intercom. Hey, varsity baseball players, please report to the library. I don't remember what room it was. I don't remember what the room was called. The Star Lab. Okay. And so I was taking my final in my history class, who happened to be one of my baseball coaches, Coach Waters. He's like, "Hey, Jaret, did you hear that announcement?" I was like, "Yeah, you know what that's about?" He goes, "No, I don't, but I'll be in there like 15 minutes like after after this ends."
This is like,
so I was like, all right.
Know what's happening.
So we walk in, like coaches are there, administration, they're like, "Hey, what's up, coach?" Like, this is like our first week back from school, so we're like, "Hey, what's up? Like, how you been?" Like, they're like, "Oh, hey, you're fine, just go take a seat." And so there's a bunch of administration out there, and so and then everyone walks in, like when we're all settled.
Like, oh, who got in trouble?
Yeah, we're all thinking, we're like, man, we're getting the baseball program cut. Like, we're like, who did what? We're literally looking around like, who did what? And then our coach just starts crying, and we're like, uh-oh. And then he goes, and it's when he told us, and he wanted us to hear from him first, before we heard from social media and other stuff. So I would say we were probably like the first people to know. But yeah, that was a dark time. I think we sat in that room for a good 2 hours. Jesus. I checked my phone after, my phone's buzzing from my mom, like, "Hey, where are you? I haven't heard from you. School got out at 12. Like, they explained that to her.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I mean, she knew the family too. Like, my parents were really close, because Wes's parents were very active with like planning events and stuff, and so were my parents. So our parents were pretty close.
Yeah. And she didn't know.
My mom did not know. Yeah, no, my parents.
You told her.
Yeah, I told my mom and my dad, and I was like, and I mean, it was just a dark time. I mean, we sat there for like 2.5 hours, and some people chilled at the field for another 3. I mean, it was a dark time going around school. Yeah, it was really dark, and it's kind of ironic that you mentioned that, because this is the 3rd Hitting the Crew episode. Yeah, and he was number 3, and we had 3s on the side of our hat that whole season.
Works in mysterious ways. But how did that change you, or did it just reaffirm things?
I don't know if it changed me per se, but it made me realize more to enjoy the moment. Yeah, because Wes was another kid who was always smiling. You probably couldn't tell if he was depressed. He was just, he was a great kid. He was always smiling over stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess from that day, like, I don't really take as much, I really don't take things for granted, but, like, I really don't now. But, like, that, and then moving away to college, too, like, that event, and then moving away to college kind of changed me, because, like, I'll say, I mean, my parents, when I moved to college, they're like, please don't mess up. Because, I mean, I was the reckless child. I was not like this. Like, my brother was very studious. He was very dedicated to studying and stuff. I was not. I wish I could have been in high school and middle school, but I didn't care about it. I cared about baseball. My parents knew that. So they're thinking like, oh, did we just waste X amount of dollars on his education? And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I'm probably going to drop out after a semester. My parents are going to kill me. I'm probably going to get kicked out of the house. I mean, they would never kick me out, but so on her first summer class, I had like a 50 in psych halfway through, and I was like, I'm screwed. Call my mom. Like, what do I do? Just figure, like, you're in college, figure it out, but you need to study. You need to study more. She knew I was a lazy studier. Put it up to a 78.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So he's got a degree.
But no, yeah, they do. But no, from that moment, in college, I was very closer with my family. I'd call my mom and dad. I still call them. I call them like every week, check in. I know it makes their day because, I mean, my childhood revolved around them watching me play baseball. Yeah. And just as much as it broke my heart on May 23rd, 2017 to play my last high school game, I know it broke theirs too, especially my mom's, because we traveled every single summer together.
Yeah.
And I knew she was just as heartbroken as I was, because
it's like beginning.
It was the end. It was the end of a long chapter.
Yeah.
Like textbooks where you have 150-page chapters and you don't want to read them, but like they're really good pages to read. It was. We go back and revisit those. I mean, because they were good memories. I mean, as much as bad as there was, and as many tears and disappointment there was, There's a lot of happy moments from it, and I don't regret any of it now, because, it happens for a reason, but I know that the way my baseball career ended, it was meant to be.
Well, you were content.
I was definitely not content.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, I lost in 13 innings in the regional finals to my high school rival that we had beat like 20 straight games. No, I was not content with the way it ended.
I didn't know this.
So May 23rd, 2017, regional finals to go to state semis. We're playing Nova High School, our district rival. We beat them like 20 straight times.
That's
we beat them so many times. Lost in 13 innings.
That's a tough way to go.
I had the only hit in extra innings. We played.
That's a tough way to go.
4.5 hour game.
Those are the worst.
I cracked up so bad, and I cried so much. But that was it. That was it for me.
I think I've seen you cry once, and that was with the West thing.
Yeah.
So you don't cry a lot.
No, not really. Life's too happy to cry.
You're very much what you see is what you get.
Oh yeah. No, I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to answer any question. It's like if someone asks me a question, I'm like, all right, well, I can say it on the record or off the record, but I will say it.
So what is something that people don't know about you that might surprise people?
Something? Ooh. I don't know.
Try to surprise me.
Oh, I think I have a deep passion for video games and esports.
What kind? Like Overwatch?
Everything.
Really?
Like literally every Overwatch, CS:GO, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Dota, Rainbow Six. Like literally every esport. Like I watch them all. I play them all. Not very good at all of them. I'm good at a couple of them, but I actually I went to last summer, 2019 summer. Yeah, I went to a gaming event. They had the Call of Duty playoffs in Miami. So I told my parents, like, hey, I want to go to this, and they're like, all right, like whatever. They understand now more, but I went to that. It was really one of the coolest things. Like, I don't know, like $60 for a 3-day event. Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. But no, I mean, I really enjoy esports. I think they're just as valid as real sports. I would say I watch just as much regular sports as esports. Like if I'm watching sports and I'm not watching like normal sports, I'm probably watching esports. Yeah. Like that's probably it. I mean, I
feel like a lot of athletes are into esports though, just because like that's when you have downtime, like
it's like, hey, I just finished a workout. Let's go like play some video games. I mean, video games are fun. It's crazy. I've played. It's just fun to like say like, hey, I played with kids from Germany. I've played with kids from Ireland. Like I have friends from Ireland that I play video games with.
Yeah,
like it's fun. Like I mean, it's a great way to connect. But yeah, I mean,
I was never into that. I don't know if it's because I was never.
I don't know why. I don't know why I am. Like, I don't know. It happened from a young age, I guess. I mean, I played video games growing up, but
travel ball and stuff like.
Yeah, I really don't know
Like,
how it started.
For
but...
me, I play Madden and 2K, and that's really it. Like,
I did that too, and then I got my first Call of Duty, and I was like, man, like, I enjoy.
I'm gonna steer right.
Yeah, I was like, I enjoy watching, like, I enjoy playing this, and then I found out like the professional scene, and
Yeah.
I found out what like esports was, and I was like, like the back of me, I'm like, man, like I always like joke around, like I know you know about the Fortnite World Cup.
I did watch the Fortnite World Cup actually.
I did too
because my roommate, who also happened to be a catcher, he went to Lake Mary High School.
Oh, okay. I cover them. The Rams.
The Rams, yeah. He's like really good friends with Brener Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I brought this up on maybe I think I brought this up on Johnny Jackson's episode of the crew. So, but yeah, no, him and Brendan are like when Brendan went to make his debut, like he flew up there and like
that's really cool.
Yeah, no, shout out Brad. He's like one of
yeah,
my
but so the
favorite
Fortnite World Cup. So
I did watch that.
Here's the thing.
I have.
I played, like, I tried to qualify for it. See, like, that summer.
So did my roommate.
See, that summer.
So did my roommate.
I had to grind for, like, a month. I was like, I'd come home from work and, like, I'd work out and I'd grind. My parents were like, what are you doing? I'm like, look, there's, like, this $1 million, like, $3 million Fortnite tournament that I'm going to try to qualify for. Yeah. And they're like, they understood, like, it wasn't, like, realistic, but they're like, go for it. Like, hey, any money you win, like, I won a $50 tournament on a game. And they were, like, so happy for me. Like, oh, that's really cool.
How much did you win?
Like, $50.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's
when I wasn't working, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But no, so like they like always like they support me no matter what. I mean, they're just like, you're an idiot, but sure. So like I'd be like, they're like, what are you doing today? I was like, hey, I can't do this. Like I have the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers today. Like they're like, are you gonna qualify? I said probably not, but if I don't, it's a free $5,000. They're like, you know what? 2 hours of your time for $5,000, go for it. So I tried. Not that good. Jeez, some of these kids need a life.
What game are you best?
Some kids need a life.
They're like 15, 16, like
Gosh.
13. What game are you best at?
Game am I best at?
What game are you best at? And if you could only play one video game for the rest of your life?
If I can only play one game the rest of my life, it'd be League of Legends.
Okay.
Most money, most following by far. It matches, if not surpasses, Super Bowl viewership for the World Championship. Yeah. But what am I best at? Probably Overwatch. Yeah, I'm best at Overwatch. Probably put the most time into that. But no, I mean, League of Legends. Like, here's the thing: the fact that over like 400 million people are watching an event in gaming, like concurrent through the whole event, is kind of scary. Like the World Championship, I think peaked at like 117 million.
It goes so under the radar because it's not.
Look, it's on the internet. Which I think it's right for. If it moves to TV, it'd be weird because I'm like, well, they still have.
Well, it kind of has.
I'll watch.
It kind of has.
It has. Like CS:GO has been on.
CS:GO's on
before.
TNT and TBS. Turner Sports.
Rocket League has been on TBS.
I've played Rocket League.
Rocket League's fun. I've
played Rocket League like 3 times.
I'm so bad at it. Gosh,
I just can't figure it out.
That's one of the few games my brother is better than me.
You know, we need to like play like Overwatch, like you and I, and you need to like teach me play. It'd be
what do
hilarious.
You have? Come over.
It'd be hilarious because I'm not like I just don't have a knack for it. Like even when I play Fortnite, like I've maybe had like 3 or 4 kills in Fortnite, like my whole Fortnite career.
Like, see, here's the thing. I'm like average at every game. Like I'm not below average at any game. Like I'm literally
you've logged in way more hours than I have.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like it'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah, it would be funny to watch you play. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like every game I play, like I'm average at it. Like I'm literally like in ranked and stuff. I'm always at the average rank. So I'm like, I'm not garbage, but like the only game like I really excel at is probably Overwatch. I kind of just average at everything else, and that's because I go to school and work and I don't have time. Like. Man. Way to go, parents! Not letting me drop out to be a professional gamer. I mean, terrible parenting.
What I will say though is, like, I look at you and you are impressive.
Thank you.
I do think like professionally that you're one of the more talented people that Hitting the Field has seen. That the program has seen. You work for the Sentinel.
I do.
Which that's a big deal.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Like. Not everyone just goes and works for the Sentinel like you do, especially when you did it, like, last year? In the fall is when you started?
Yeah.
So you're a junior in college and you're working at the Orlando Sentinel? Not everyone
does
that.
What is it? This week is my 6th month with the company.
That's...
With the Sentinel.
Yeah. Claptrack.
I think it's like the 18th, I think, is my...
Yeah.
Like 18th or 19th is my...
I mean, and you're the clerk.
Yeah, I mean, but still,
but
foot in the door. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. Everyone knows it. It's all who you know. It's politics. It goes back to what we said earlier. It's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so. How did you get the Sentinel job?
Brunson.
Shout out Brunson.
So I'm in I'm in the hospital with my grandma. And I checked my phone. Yeah, it was over something. She's fine now. She's fine. She's fine. But I check my Twitter.
Yeah.
I have a DM saying, I don't even follow Brunson. I don't even know how he found my Twitter. It's crazy. That's why you make your Twitter name your name.
Yeah.
Not like Rich Boy Swag or whatever you kids are making it. Make it your name so people can find you. Because Brunson found my Twitter. He DM'd me. He said, hey, Jaret, can you email me? There's an opportunity I want to talk to you about. So I'm like, all right. I'm like reading to my grandma. I'm like, hey, this might be cool. So I email him, and he's like, hey, so this guy, Buddy Collins at the Orlando Sentinel, is looking for a high school sports clerk position to fill for the next school year. I know you're interested in sports, and you're the first person I thought of.
Wow.
Would you be interested?
Didn't think of me.
I'm sorry. I was in his news reporting class. It was probably recency bias.
Yeah,
it probably was recency bias.
Look, if that would have happened, I probably wouldn't have taken it.
No.
Well, at that time, I was.
Well, I think he knew I probably would have taken it too,
Yeah.
just because I was still young in the program.
Yeah.
But so he gave me his contact information. I called him, and it was like the longest 2 months to hear back from Buddy. It was like the longest 2 months.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to call again. I'm like, I know.
It was in the summer.
I'm calling, and then he's like, oh, sorry, Jaret. Like we had end of the year high school awards, and I went on like a vacation and stuff. He's like, but then we set everything up, and everything worked out. But gosh, that was stressful.
Yeah.
Like every day, my mom's like, did they call you? Did they call? And I'm like getting annoyed. I'm like, no, Mom, I'll tell you when they called.
That's how my mom is right now because I'm looking for jobs.
I am
and
too.
It's like,
if you find anything, I'm looking to.
I mean, yeah, but one job that actually you and I have shared is we're both camp counselors.
We are.
So
I was invited to come back this summer
counselor
too as a camp counselor, a supervisor. Supervisor.
Nah, and look, I feel like when you're a camp counselor and you know another camp counselor, it's like an unspoken fraternity. Gosh, it's an unspoken fraternity.
Those kids suck. They get me sick all the time. I went to work for a straight week with a fever, and my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, they got me sick, so I don't care if I get them sick again." She's a teacher, so she understands.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My mom was a teacher.
I mean, you worked for the J, I worked for the Y.
Mm-hmm. We're like
JY, YJ. We'll figure it out.
JY, YJ.
But no, I mean, it's fun. This is
what's your favorite camp memory?
Favorite camp memory?
From being a counselor.
From being a counselor, because there's a lot of good memories outside of work, like with those people, because those are like
so favorite moment with the kids.
With the kids?
Favorite moment, like just like funniest thing you.
Oh well, I had the teens this summer, so it was like a fun summer because you can be more open with them,
you
and
can be more yourself.
You can make more appropriate jokes. Like you can say like, if the kid says something like, okay, it's like
I'm not supposed to tell you that's funny, but that's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I'll have kids like come to me like, this kid's annoying, and I'm like, hey, you said it, not me. Like obviously I don't say that, but like it's stuff like, well, they'll come up and they're like, oh, this person likes this person, so then I'll talk about it for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
just because they're teens and I can do that.
That's
like
the weird part.
Stuff like that. No, but honestly, like any field trip with the teens last year was a treat, just because they were hilarious. Yeah, they were absolutely hilarious. They were a handful, but they are hilarious.
Some of my favorite memories with working come with the team.
They're just funny.
When we play musical chairs with the
oh my god, they rip the chairs. I'm like, you guys are children. So I'm gonna put you with the toddler group. No, camp is fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I get a free membership to the Y.
Yeah.
Getting shit.
Yeah. 4 years. 4 years for me. I did 4 years.
This will be my third summer. Assuming. Well, yeah, I've already.
It'll be if you go back. It'll be. But
going to go back.
4 years.
Going back and then looking for a side.
4 years though for me were. It's time to be done.
Also
because I'm graduating. So yeah. But
working with kids. I mean. I don't know.
Working with kids
is
just
tests
your patience.
It's fun though. It brings out the youth in me. It reminds me to smile. Like umpiring baseball is extremely fun because I love joking around. Yeah, Johnny Jackson. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like working with kids. Like, man, my mom would kill me for saying this, but I kind of want to be a teacher just because working with kids is like working with kids and helping kids and like stuff. It reminds me that I'm still young.
CD's a teacher.
I know. I would change everything to education. So I did look into this. My parents don't even know this. I did look into changing my mind to education.
Yeah.
But I realized it doesn't come with a teaching degree, and I would have been here for an extra semester, so I said no. A teaching certificate is what I meant. So I said no.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I didn't think about it.
In the back of my head.
For like a solid month.
In the back of my head, I've always been like, what if I was a teacher? But
I feel like it'd be fun. You get summers off. I kind of want to be a teacher.
You get summers off, but you have to do a job in the summer. So it's like, are you really having this?
You can get paid over. I mean, here's the thing. Because it goes back to if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I feel like if I taught like middle school or high school, I would enjoy it. even elementary school, I didn't enjoy it. Like, I don't know, man. Working at the Y screwed me in an aspect because I realized I enjoy working with people with young kids.
I like pushing it forward. I like pushing it forward.
I agree. I enjoy doing the journalism stuff. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I love high school sports. It just reminds me that I'm young.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why when I pass the torch, there's no other person I would pass it to other than you. Just because I know that you would push it forward.
We're screwed next semester. No, I'm joking. The show won't die on my watch. I promise. The show. The podcast I can't speak for, but the show will not.
I mean, but like you and I get that in terms of paying it forward, and I think that's why I respect you a lot more than not that I did, but that's why I respect you a lot. It's just because I know that we're cut from the same cloth in a way.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. We both have the same.
We're very similar. We're very different.
We're different, but we have the same work mentality.
Yeah,
like to get stuff done, kind of thing.
But yeah, I think we just go about it different ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm way more loud and dramatic.
No,
you're more.
I'm very outgoing, but I'm very quiet. I just don't like it.
It's like a quiet confidence.
I don't need unnecessary attention on me. I don't like.
But hey, when you get it,
but like I lay low. Like I'll lay in the back lines and then I'll fire a couple shots and like that's it. Like I don't need to do much.
In a way, like I'm also not really that kind of person. I mean, I'm very much like, I love being the center of attention, but I also want other people to be the center of attention.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I enjoy being. Don't get me wrong. I love the spotlight.
Like I like it when people look at me, but I also like it when people are looking at you and they're like, Jaret did a good job.
I love when people.
Why did Jaret do a good job? Because I was producing the show and I helped him out. But, but hey, if Jaret gets the credit in front of the screen, that makes me as happy, if not happier, than if I were there.
No, yeah. And whenever the episode goes smoothly, people are like, "He did great." I'm like, honestly, come on, that's all behind the scenes. It's all like the preparation.
But like,
stuff.
And it's something. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It just fits. It fits.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Fits.
Peanut butter's not great, but it does work
with jelly.
Yeah,
but I also like peanut butter.
I'm not a peanut butter guy.
I love peanut butter.
No,
again.
Mm-hmm. We're opposite. Yeah, clearly.
But
no peanut butter.
So 10 years from now, 2030. Jaret will be 30.
I turned 21 this year. 3 months and 6 days.
We're both Tauruses too.
That's cool. Yeah,
we're also, I think, something. And Kyle Partain also a Taurus. Only the Taurus gang is running HTF 2019-2020.
Yes, that's awesome.
So, 10 years, 2030. 10 years from now, Jaret, where do you see yourself at 30?
Still in Florida.
You love Florida.
I love Florida.
Because everyone here does not like.
I know.
Florida.
I don't get it. I love Florida, and I've lived here my whole life. Mm-hmm. 30 years from now, or 30 years from now. I mean, I can't think that far.
10 years from
10 years from now.
2030.
2030.
You're gonna be 30.
Yeah. Hopefully, I have a family. Mm-hmm. Wherever my future wife is. Shout out to her. I don't know where she is. She's somewhere out there. Hopefully.
Have you had much luck in the dating scene? Have you tried?
Yeah, I have tried. Mm-hmm.
But you're very I don't think you've had a girlfriend in college, have you?
No.
So you're very patient.
I guess my longest relationship, which wasn't even really a relationship, was 1 month in high school, and I don't even count that. Yeah. I don't even count it because it wasn't really an official relationship. It was kind of the talking stage kind of thing.
I don't count my relationship either.
And funny or not, that girl kind of did ghost me on Valentine's Day, which is kind of why I don't like this holiday.
I don't like Valentine's Day. I have a bad Valentine's Day.
I just don't. That's my only bad memory from it. But
it's
a Ponzi scheme to get money, which I guess every holiday is.
I mean, also I know Valentine's Day. Last year it felt different. But this year...
It's the same every year. I forget it's a holiday.
I mean, look, and I say this because of the Stoneman Douglas shooting. I feel like for me...
Oh, yeah.
I remember 2 years ago, that was Florida.
2 years ago, that was real different.
Yeah.
That was real different.
Yeah. You were a freshman, I was a sophomore. And that,
I remember that hit home.
And I think about it every day. And I mean, I lived 3 hours from the place.
Yep.
But you grew up 10 minutes from that place. You probably know a lot of people. You probably played baseball with people that went to Stoneman Douglas. Did you ever play Stoneman Douglas?
Played at that school so many times.
Yeah.
Played them so many times. Oh, yeah. No, I know. I mean, when I heard about it, I checked in with my friends on the baseball team.
Mm-hmm. Make sure they weren't in there.
No, I mean, it's scary. I mean, you know the whole community. It's like, that was... Yeah, that's... The Broward's doing something special for that this year. They're doing
I feel like there
get
won't be a year where they don't do something special.
They get a
for
day
it.
off of school, I think, or they get out early, and then it's like to go do something like for the community, that day.
service. Yeah.
Hopefully, people actually go out and do something for the community. I hope it's not just like, oh, we have time off. Like, hopefully they do something because
Maybe as
safest city in like Broward, I think is what it was voted. Just keep that in mind. What Parkland is.
Mm-hmm.
It hits home. It hits home.
It's crazy.
That hits home. But yeah, dating life. I mean, yeah, I'm patient.
You are.
I mean, the thing with that is like, if I find the right person, sure, we'll run with it. But I mean, if I put just half as much effort as I do into other things, I feel like I would have a girlfriend. But I just don't. I haven't.
You're focused on you right now.
Yeah, it's like I could focus on someone else. Like I have the money for it now. I'm not broke. But no, it's like.
But also professionally.
Well, yeah.
You're focused on yourself right now.
Yeah, but I mean, so whatever happens. I mean, you know, I've had some stuff last year, it didn't work out. Had some stuff over summer, it didn't work out. But you know, it happens, and it works out in the end.
Now, something that I've that I like doing on these, I want you to pick someone from your family.
Okay.
And I want you to pick someone that's in your chosen family. Your friends that you consider family.
Oh boy, that's gonna be tough.
That you would consider to be some of the people that have inspired you the most in your life leading up to this very moment right now.
Inspired me.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with much family. It was just my mom, my dad, my brother who lived in Florida, so we didn't really have much. So that's kind of what I grew up with. That's kind of what that's what I
small
lean,
families.
That's what I lean on. I love my family though. Like my grandma, grandparents, cousins, all that. I love them. But
is there someone that like stands out to you?
I mean, I spent so much time with my mom, but it's honestly like I really think I got my work ethic from my dad. Dude, just puts in so much hours to work, so much. Dude doesn't sleep. Like, I guess I kind of like got that from like I learned like, all right, this is how the real world works. You can do it right, and he's not one to boast about it. Like he just does his work and gets out.
Yeah, and
that's kind of how I do my stuff. Like, you know, I'll do my stuff and I'll get out. And they're like, who did this? Like, and I'm not gonna be like, oh hey, that's me. Someone will be like, oh, Jaret did. I'm never gonna like jump in like, oh yeah, I did this. That's just not me. You know, like, do good when no one's looking. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But no, my dad's work ethic is really good.
Shout out, Dad.
I take that into everything.
He owns the Dunkins.
He doesn't own all the. He doesn't own Dunkins. He is
Dunkin'.
He is Dunkin'. Well, just Dunkin' now because
they're not
Dunkin'
the donuts.
Yeah, because they're on a first name basis with America.
Have they done that already?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just trying to update stores.
It's Dunkin' now.
Yeah, it is Dunkin'. But yeah, I mean, my mom's a teacher, you know, so learn patience from her, and my brother, he's done a lot in his life, and as being the 3-year older child, you can learn a lot from his experience to not do what he did. So I took notes and didn't do what he did in some aspects. Like,
was he the more dramatic? You said you were the more reckless child.
I was reckless. He was studious, very well behaved, and
but was he like?
He was very.
But was he like? But you were the more. Who was the more dramatic child?
Me. God, I make a scene out of everything. I mean, the whole thing was.
I think I was the more dramatic child.
He was okay. Yeah. Okay. Everyone in my family is dramatic because I am stronger than everyone in my family. So if I playfully punch someone, they're gonna make a scene out of it. God, I would just push him, and he's like, "Dude, you bruised me." I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys are so weak." And I get the typical, "Jaret, you don't know how strong you are." And I'm like,
Thanksgiving
okay.
with the cap.
I'm like, whatever.
Not
so
the time to mess with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was a reckless child. I mean, no. I was a total child. I'd get in the fights and
yeah.
But,
so someone now in your chosen family, maybe someone growing up in your travel ball teams, or maybe someone now. Maybe me. It should be
someone now,
not me. Please don't do me.
Someone who's impacted my life. Man, I mean,
or it could be me if you really think that, but
no, it definitely hasn't been you.
Hey,
nah. I mean, there's like two of my closest friends who I mentioned earlier, Ivan and Johnny. I mean, I spent. As like my childhood, I like 1 through 10. I grew up with Ivan, like in his house. Like he was at my house, I was at his house.
Yeah.
Best of friends, did everything. Still, like I mean, I go to their house every time for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like, I mean, impacted me, but like they're family. And like as much as like I say I didn't grow up with family, I did grow up with family because like the Rodriguez household, they're my family. Do anything for them, and
there are people that you still talk to.
Oh God, yeah, we go over every single holiday. Yeah. Oh yeah, love them. But yeah, I mean they're family. I mean that's about it. They're just family.
No, I love that. Because like I'm very much that way. I love the chosen family stuff.
Oh, I love chosen family.
Because as someone that grew up with, not as large of a family,
I feel you on that.
Those are the people that have, and hitting the field has become a family.
Oh yeah.
To us here, and and Jaret, like you and I, like we started out together, and that doesn't go unnoticed. I
miss you, bro. I miss you.
Dramatic.
I'll have to.
Right.
I guess I'll host your Hitting the Crew. I guess.
I mean,
you do one.
if maybe, or I told Johnny maybe him because he might take it over.
He's a character.
Yeah. No. What's your favorite hitting the field memory?
Hitting the field memory?
From the day one when you walked in.
My favorite. I know it off the bat. First trivia show that I was on. Mm-hmm. The question was, who was the first player no pitch intentionally walked, and I answered it within a second. And everyone, I'll never forget. I hear Meech in the back. I'm like, what the? I spent hours looking for that answer. Like that's just my favorite. Like off the top memory. That was golden.
That's don't mess with me.
Jess hitting her head on the jib during the draft show last year was pretty good. That was a classic. Hosting the March Madness episode was fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, but no, probably the trivia one.
Me and Armand looked at past.
I know, I got pictures.
Yeah.
That commercial's funny where you guys bring up my perfect game stuff. I'm like, dude, I'll never forget. Zach's just sitting on the computer while we're shooting this commercial, and he's like, Florida pokers. In that commercial, it's like, in the commercial, he's like, what is a poker? And I'm like, what?
That's where it came from.
Yes, that's where it came from. Yeah. Because he looked up my perfect game. And he's like reading off my stats, and they throw them up on screen. I'm like, some of that's not even accurate, man. Like I'm running a 6.7 now, like not a 6.82. Gosh.
But like, yeah, and look, as much as I love the people we have now, nothing compares to that first year for me.
No. And I tell everyone that. I've told people in meetings that. I don't care how great you guys are. You guys are never going to live up to the first year of that crew. I loved it. That. I mean, I'm not saying we were definitely, as a unit, as a family, a lot closer that first year than any other year we've had.
Yeah, and
come on,
I don't know.
We were watching football games at Meech's. I mean, we were going out eating and watching games like at Carl's restaurant, at Miller's,
And there are still shades of that.
We played IM sports every single semester.
Yeah, and those are things that I've tried to bring back.
Everyone's working now. We're all older. Like I feel like no one there really worked. Everyone now is working. Like I would love to go play IM sports.
It's very
with all
much
you guys,
like
but I can't.
It's very much like we're all busy, but there still is that aspect of family there. And like the thing is, and I mentioned that that first year of hitting the field, and the people. I guess you're really the only one that's still going to be here after this year. But
that's kind of scary.
From the group of seniors that we have. And you, Armand, Troy, Carly, you're a part of this.
I'm the senior. Yes.
Well,
I know. You're talking about the core. Yeah, they were there from the beginning.
The people we started with, and there's a bond there that is different than the other bonds that I've made in hitting the field.
Oh yeah.
And even with like the people that have graduated from before, the Meeches, the Jimmies.
I mean, even Taché, who we didn't know, we are still very close with.
Yeah.
Like, I saw him at the movie theaters. And I hadn't even... If I
see Jeremy Taché in the
I don't even know if I had...
I'll be, so excited.
I think I had talked to him, once or twice before. And he's like, yo, Jaret, what's up, man? I was like, oh, yo, Jeremy. I was like, I thought that was you. And then talked to him, and I told him, hey, this is the guy. This is the only reason I can do what I do.
I tell everyone I'm the second best Jeremy to ever walk in a hitting field. And I will always say that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I could argue
Taché
for first best, but Taché is just on another level.
Yeah, I mean,
what a great guy.
Yeah. So that's and
can't
knowing that
on the old parts.
Knowing
man.
that
10 years from now. Okay, you said the 2030 question. Yeah. We're gonna do a 10-year reunion, leaving HTF podcast, reliving memories.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, but no. I mean,
what if we just did a show? Pitch it to ESPN.
Let's do it. Yep.
Let's do it.
It could work.
Maybe we'll have.
Maybe one of us started working for ESPN, so it'll be an easy pitch.
I mean, we Charlie Royal up there right now, so
yeah. That's what I'm doing in 2030. Doing a reunion HTF show.
That'd be crazy.
That would be cool.
Be crazy.
Yeah. No,
it's just the last. I mean, part of the reason why I wanted to start this my senior year, my second semester, my last semester. Hopefully, I'm graduating.
I hope so too. You're a student now.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. But a lot of it is just because I'm very much an emotional person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very much, like I want to really show how much I appreciate these things, and I've said it, and I don't like. There's no reason to not say this as many times as possible. What we have here at UCF with Hitting the Field, with the studio, with this podcast booth right here, it's special, and it's taken. And it's hard as it sounds, it's taken until now to realize how special it is.
Oh yeah.
Just because I know I'm on my way out. And next year, when you're sitting, with 2.5 months left until graduation, you're gonna feel that too, on a higher level than what you already do now.
Yeah.
And I want people to really know how special and how important and how privileged they are to be in this position. And like you and I, like in 10 years, we gonna be doing this again.
That sounds fine with me. I'm still doing this in 10 years.
But here's the thing: is like
never be working a day.
With you, Jaret, it's the brotherhood goes beyond Hitting the Field.
Yeah,
it goes beyond UCF, and I know in 10 years, we'll still be hitting it up.
Of course.
So
we're gonna be next semester.
Maybe
next
not.
semester when I need help.
Yeah, you're gonna be texting me like, Jeremy,
Brian, pick up the
Brener,
phone,
like, sorry, I'm
I'm
trying to find a job. But
well, I mean, whole 1 out of 3 people or 1 out of 1 person in this class will hire you, like that kind of thing. We heard in Monday.
Yeah, and
it's true.
And
it's true.
That's I want you to know, and I'm sure you probably already knew this, but I want to tell you that if you ever need anything, that I'm open and you can hit me up.
Those are real ones right there.
I mean, yeah.
Jeremy Brener is not my new pick for influential person outside of my chosen family.
I knew it, yes.
New person.
But yeah, no, Jaret, you're a brother for life.
Of course,
and
always.
You know that.
Yeah.
But I think
we get asked if we're brothers sometimes. That happened today. Check out. So what you feel? You brothers? That's at least the third time I can remember. Someone
that happened.
That's the third time.
Who asked that?
One of the checkout people.
What?
I don't know. That's at least the third time on count I can remember someone asked.
It's because you have the
related.
beard now. If you didn't have the beard,
dude.
Wait, 3 times?
Yeah,
that's 3 times more than I've heard it.
I've heard it once at a tailgate.
Really?
Yeah, and then
maybe
a couple tailgates.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, you were probably there physically.
But here I was not.
Yeah, that's probably why. It's all good.
Not your mental.
It's all good. Hey, wine drunk is a good drunk.
Yeah, because I can't drink beer.
The warm wine's disgusting. I don't know how you do that.
No, it juice.
3 months and 6 days, we go celebrate. Wine on me, and you'll buy
3
me a
months
shot.
and 6 days. You're 21.
3 months and 6 days, May.
And then I'll be 22 2 days later, and we'll have to do it all over again.
That's fine. All right, I'll probably have to work that Wednesday.
Turning 21 on Monday sucks.
That's fun. I don't work.
Yeah, okay, this is what I did for my 21st. I went to the beach. I got a pub sub. Bottle of wine.
Okay. Sounds like a good day to me. I'll do the same thing, just like with some alcohol.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Not wine. I'm not really a wine guy. Not Italian.
I'm not either.
Oh, the only time I drink.
Italian?
No, the only time I drink wine is when my dad goes, "All right, we need to drink some wine. We have too much." That's literally it.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to park the car.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Yeah. Well, Jaret, it's a long one because,
I have such a long history.
My
memory's too vivid. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, thank you, Jaret, for coming to the studio. Definitely a pleasure. Always when we can ever collaborate. But thank you for tuning in to this episode of Hitting the Crew. We will be back on Monday with another new episode of Hitting the Field with
I'm back.
Host Jaret Kappelman.
I didn't get fired.
Yeah, he didn't get fired yet. And we'll be back with Might I Add this week. It'll be posted pretty soon throughout the week with Kyle Partain and Jeff Laux, where they talk about UCF's new recruiting class.
I wish they knew that.
UCF space game. Yeah, they don't know that joke. That's hard to explain on here.
No, you can't. It's inside one.
Yeah, so go check that out. Might I add on YouTube. We'll also have our Hitting the Field podcast because we did have our Black History Month show, which go check that out. 3rd ever Black History Month show. Armand said it was the best one, and he's been a part of all 3.
Yeah,
so
gotta take his word.
Definitely go check that out. Talk about the late Kobe Bryant and Patrick Mahomes and our women in sports, which was
good. That was a good segment.
It was a really it was definitely go tune in, check that out. It's moments like those that make me really proud to be a part of Hitting the Field. And this was another one of those, another great episode. Hitting the Crew. So yes, be sure to check that out, and also check out our podcast with John Whitley and Robert Husby. We talk about all of the sports happenings for the past couple of days. Yeah, we got a lot going on. We will not stop until we are told to stop.
At the top.
Yeah.
Stop till we're at the top.
Stop till we're at the top. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip
Catch y'all
side.
later. Remember to smile.